Today's world is a rapidly changing place, and there are those out there who think that maybe there won't be a home for vehicles such as the Range Rover in the near future. JLR beg to differ, because this is the new Range Rover Sport HST, and it packs some clever new hybrid technology. The Range Rover Sport is such a beautiful sweet spot amongst the Land Rover range because it has all of the opulence and comfort of the full-fat Range Rover, but with just a hint of athleticism, just a hint of sportiness that makes it a little bit more enjoyable to drive. This is the Range Rover HST, a limited edition model that introduces an all-new powertrain to Range Rover. Under the hood is a 3-litre straight-six petrol engine accompanied by a turbocharger, as you might expect in today's world. But it starts to get interesting when you realise that it's also coupled with an electric supercharger. At 120,000 RPM, this electric supercharger spools up the turbo in about half a second, and that's way faster than the gases built up in the turbocharger naturally. So the end result is much better throttle response and greater efficiency. You see, turbos are great, they are very efficient ways of boosting power. This has about 395 brake horsepower, but also the supercharger, the nature of it is far more linear, and sort of Range Rover have engineered the best of both worlds into this powertrain. Now the electric for said supercharger comes from an all-new 48-volt system that's in the car, that's recharged through regenerative braking and engine braking. The net result is that your Range Rover Sport will do 27 mpg according to WLTP figures. So that's the science behind HST, but what is the net result? Well, it's a powertrain that's exceptionally quiet. Obviously the cabin's very well insulated, being a Range Rover anyway, but also nicely responsive whenever you do put your foot down and want to take advantage of all that power. Another addition of the 48-volt system is that it sort of torque fills. Now, being a mild hybrid, this Range Rover Sport can't drive on electric power alone. For that, you will want the full plug-in electric vehicle, or PHEV Range Rover Sport. In fact, what this delivers is sort of the best of both worlds. If you don't want to actually plug your vehicle in, but want a vehicle that's actually 12% more efficient than the regular Range Rover, here you are. The HST carries all of the revisions of the facelifted Range Rover Sport. That means you get those cool LED headlights, the more dynamic front and rear fascias, and actually plenty of revisions here in the interior, most noticeably this new touch duo display unit. This infotainment system obviously gives you access to all the things that you might expect, everything from air conditioning, radio, telephone, navigation, etc. But it's now split onto two displays, a little like Audi's system. But what's really nice is these rotary knobs and dials are integrated straight into the display. And what you get there is a real blend between the physical and the digital, and it's really nice to use actually. There's still ample space in here with a gargantuan boot, seating for 5, with the 2 occupants enjoying these great leather captain's chairs and the really commanding driving position that you get with all Range Rovers. Another nice little touch to the cabin are these wheel-mounted buttons here that sort of come to life as the car does and remain blank otherwise. Something that does separate the HST from lesser Range Rover models is the swathes of carbon fibre that you have here. There's lashings of it on the interior, and there are a few nice carbon details outside too. The Range Rover Sport can now be had in almost every drivetrain derivative you can imagine, from straight petrol, diesel, PHEV, and now this mild hybrid. And I suppose the biggest compliment I can pay this mild hybrid, or HST, is that it drives just like its siblings. It has all the same vigour and verve whenever you drive it briskly. There's a nice response to the steering. Of course, you still feel a little detached from what's going on beneath you, but then it is a Range Rover after all, and well suited to wafting, so you're not necessarily wanting to feel every nuance in the road. But it's responsive, it feels really brisk for its size, and it certainly defies its weight whenever you start throwing it into the corners. There is some body roll, it's a big tall vehicle after all, but there's plenty of grip from that all-wheel drive system. Speaking of all-wheel drive, it still comes with the complete suite of all-terrain response systems down here that will cover everything from mud, snow, it will ford streams, and also it has this very clever auto mode that will detect the surface that you're actually driving on and alter itself accordingly. The HST might start north of £81,000, but for that money it does come very well equipped. And with all of its hybrid tech and its ease of use, it's a modern day Range Rover for a modern day world.
Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe for all of the latest and greatest cars to hit the road. For breaking news and written reviews, visit www.insidelane.co.uk.